This is the story of something truly strange, something that happened to a friend of mine, Rahul. I'm going to tell you everything, just the way it happened, and trust me, you'll want to listen carefully, because what happened to him could happen to anyone. Rahul wasn't the type to believe in ghosts or haunted stuff. Nah, he was a regular college guy, liked games, late-night movies, and had this weird obsession with checking out new mobile apps. Every time some random app came out, whether it was a flashlight or some face filter nonsense, Rahul had to try it. He called it testing tech. We all called it a waste of time. It started one evening. The sun had just gone down, the hostel was quiet, and most of us were in our rooms. Rahul was bored out of his mind. His assignments were done, no new episodes of his favorite show, and he didn't feel like gaming. So he picked up his phone and began doing what he did best, scrolling through the App Store. That's when he saw it, an app called Mirror. No stars, no reviews, just one download, probably a mistake by someone. The icon was the weirdest part. It wasn't some basic mirror graphic. It was a realistic human eye. Not cartoonish, not stylized, just one eye, red, bloodshot, and staring right at you. Most people would skip that and move on. But Rahul? He clicked on it like it was calling to him. He even laughed. Must be one of those face filter things. Let's see what it does. And just like that, he downloaded it. The app didn't ask for permissions. No camera access, no storage, nothing. It just installed in a second and opened automatically. That was strange, yeah, but not enough for Rahul to stop. When the app launched, the screen turned into what looked like a mirror. It showed Rahul's face clearly, like a front camera feed. But there was something off. It wasn't grainy like most camera apps. The quality was too good. Every pore on his face, every tiny hair, it was all visible, like he was staring into a high-definition mirror from the future. And then the weirdest thing happened. Rahul smiled at the reflection, just testing it out. But the reflection smiled before he did. Just a second earlier. A tiny delay in reverse. He froze. He told me later that for a moment, he thought maybe he imagined it. Maybe he smiled unconsciously, and it was just a delay in his brain, not the app. He closed the app quickly, locked his phone, and sat there for a while, heart pounding. But curiosity, that thing always gets you. Even when your gut says no, your brain says, maybe one more try. So he opened the app again. This time the reflection was back to normal. It moved exactly how he moved. Blinked when he blinked, turned when he turned. Everything seemed fine. Too fine. But the unease never left him. He didn't know it yet, but that one little smile, that tiny, early grin from his reflection, was just the beginning. Something had noticed him, and it was watching. So where were we? Right. Rahul had just downloaded that weird app called Mirror. The reflection smiled before he did, and it gave him chills. He tried to forget about it, closed the app, locked his phone, told himself it was nothing, just a glitch. A bug in the app. But you know how it is when something creeps you out like that, it stays in your head. Rahul couldn't stop thinking about it. That smile. That split-second timing. It felt wrong, too human, and yet not. The next night, things got weirder. Rahul told me he was alone in his room again. Lights off, just his desk lamp on. Everyone else had gone out, but he wasn't feeling it. He said he wasn't planning to open Mirror again, but somehow he did. Like something was pulling him to it. He opened the app, this time switching on his phone's flashlight. He wanted to test it properly, see if the reflection was really messed up, or if it was just his imagination. And guess what? The app turned on like before, showed his face. The flashlight made everything brighter, too bright. You could see every shadow on his face, every detail. But the reflection wasn't right. His real eyes blinked, but the reflection didn't. He smiled nervously. The reflection didn't. Then slowly, after a full second, it smiled. Wide. Too wide. Rahul told me his stomach dropped. His mouth went dry. It was like the reflection was thinking about what to do next. And then it whispered something. I know. I asked him the same thing. What did it say? He said he couldn't understand the words. It sounded like a mix of his own voice and something else. Low, strange, almost like a growl and a whisper mixed together. But the worst part, his phone volume was off. He swears the sound didn't come from the phone, it came through the phone. Like it was using the speaker to talk from somewhere else. He dropped the phone on his bed and stepped back. But the app stayed open, the reflection kept smiling. And then it raised one hand and waved at him. Rahul wasn't waving. That was the moment he knew. This wasn't a bug. This wasn't some camera error. This thing was not just showing his reflection anymore. It was doing its own thing. He pressed the home button, but nothing happened. He tried to power the phone off. No use. The screen just stayed stuck on mirror. The smiling face. The waving hand. He forced a hard reboot, holding the power and volume buttons together. Finally, the screen went black. He didn't sleep well that night. He didn't tell anyone. Not yet. Who would believe him? He thought maybe the app was hacked, or maybe it was some prank by developers. But the next morning, when he tried to uninstall the app, the option was gone. There was no uninstall button, not even app info. It didn't appear in the settings. The icon was still there, blinking like the eye on the app icon was alive. And every time he opened the App Store to search for it again, it said app not found. He was stuck with it. And that reflection, it was still there, waiting for him. Still smiling. Okay, so Rahul couldn't uninstall the app. It just wouldn't go away. That creepy icon with the blinking red eye was stuck on his phone, almost like it wanted to stay there. Now at this point he was still trying to stay calm. He didn't want to sound crazy. He kept telling himself it was just a glitch. Maybe a virus. Maybe some creepy prank app that someone uploaded to the store. But things started getting worse. Way worse. It began with the notifications. Late at night his phone would buzz. Just short little vibrations. He'd pick it up expecting a message from WhatsApp or some group chat. But no, it was Mirror. Even though the app had no permissions, no settings, it was sending him messages. And these weren't normal push notifications. The first one said, "You look tired tonight." Rahul thought it was random. Like maybe the app had some weird AI feature. But the next night another one popped up. "Nice shirt. Red suits you." Now this shook him. Because Rahul was wearing a red shirt that night. And he was alone in his room. There was no way the app should have known that. He checked his camera, his microphone. Nothing was being used. He checked app permissions again. Mirror didn't even show up in the list anymore. Like it didn't exist, but it did. Then came the worst one. He was lying in bed, lights off, about to fall asleep. His phone buzzed. He looked at the screen. It said, "Why don't you smile more?" And just as he finished reading it, the screen turned on by itself. The Mirror app had opened. There he was on the screen. But not just lying in bed. His reflection was sitting up, and it was smiling. Rahul jumped up so fast, he almost fell off the bed. He threw the phone across the room and backed away, breathing hard. But the light from the phone was still glowing. The app was still open. And the smile on the reflection's face, it was wider now. Like it knew it scared him. The next day Rahul came to me. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. Dark circles. Jumping at small sounds. He showed me his phone. I looked at it, expecting to see the app, the icon, the messages. But guess what? There was nothing. The app wasn't there. No red eye icon, no mirror, no messages. Just a clean phone screen with regular apps. I thought he was joking or maybe imagining things, but he begged me to believe him. He said, "I swear it was there. Just yesterday. You don't understand. It opens on its own. It talks to me. It knows things." I tried to calm him down. Told him to reset the phone, maybe flash the software. He said he already tried. Twice. But the app always came back. That night, he sent me a voice note. I still remember his voice, shaky, tired. He said, "I don't think it's just a bad app. I think it's alive. I think it's trying to take my place." Then he said something that chilled me to the bone. I saw it again, the reflection. It's not copying me anymore. It's doing its own thing, and last night, it blinked at me. But I didn't blink. This is where everything changed. It's where things went from creepy to terrifying. So after Rahul sent me that voice note, the one where he said his reflection was blinking without him blinking, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about what he said. It's trying to take my place. That line haunted me. The next day, I tried calling him. No answer. I messaged. Nothing. The ticks weren't even blue. I thought maybe he just needed some space. Maybe he was resting or went home. But deep down, something didn't feel right. So I went to his hostel room. The hallway was silent. His door was closed. I knocked once. No reply. I knocked again, louder. Still nothing. I tried the handle. It opened. The lights were off inside. The curtains drawn. The air smelled stale, like the room hadn't been opened in days. I stepped in slowly, called out his name. Rahul? Nothing. I looked around. His bag was still there. His laptop, shoes by the bed. Everything looked normal, except him. He was gone. But his phone? It was lying on the bed. Screen glowing. The app was open. Mirror. And you're not going to believe what I saw next. The phone was lying flat on the bed, right? But the reflection was sitting up, like it was standing above the phone and staring into it. And the face? It was Rahul's face, but not Rahul. The eyes were too wide. The smile was unnatural, like it was enjoying something. I picked up the phone slowly. The moment I touched it, the screen flickered. The reflection waved at me. I dropped it. And that's when I noticed something strange. The reflection was still on the screen, even though the phone was no longer pointed at anyone, no front camera facing anything, but Rahul's face, his reflection, was just standing there, smiling, waiting. I panicked. I tried to close the app. It didn't close. I tried powering the phone off. Wouldn't shut down. I held the buttons for a forced restart. The screen finally went black. And then, just for a second, the screen lit up again, just for a flicker. And Rahul's reflection whispered something. I didn't hear the words, but I saw the lips move. And I swear to you, his eyes were watching me. Not the camera, me. I ran out of the room, went straight to the hostel warden. We called the police. They searched the room, filed a missing persons report. They questioned everyone. But Rahul, gone, vanished without a trace. The phone was taken for investigation, but when they checked it, they said there was no Mirror app, not in the app list, not in the store history, not in the catch. The icon, gone. It was like it never existed. They said maybe he just ran away, that maybe he had a mental breakdown, but I know Rahul, he wouldn't run. Something else happened, and I'll never forget what the last message from the app said before I left the room. You're next. This is it. The last part of the story I've been meaning to tell you. And honestly, even now, it's hard to say out loud, but you've come this far. You need to know how it ends, or maybe how it doesn't. So Rahul vanished. Just disappeared. The police said he probably ran away, but you and I both know that's not what happened. He didn't run, he was taken. By that thing in the app. That reflection that wasn't a reflection anymore. After that day, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I kept hearing his voice in my head. That message. It's trying to take my place. And then that final message on the phone screen before I ran. You're next. At first, I ignored it, deleted every app on my phone, stopped using my front camera, covered it with tape. Wouldn't even look at mirrors for too long. I was scared, paranoid, obsessed. But then it happened. 2 weeks after Rahul vanished, my phone buzzed at 3:11 a.m. I hadn't installed anything new. I hadn't opened any app. I hadn't even used the phone that night. But there it was on the lock screen. Miriam, why are you still running? I froze. My blood went cold. I hadn't downloaded it. I checked the app drawer. Nothing. I searched the files. Nothing, but the message was still there. Then the screen lit up on its own. The app opened. There was my face. Just like Rahul's. Except, not quite. My reflection looked tired, pale. The eyes were sunken, but they weren't mine. They were looking past me, through me, like they were watching something else. And then it blinked. I didn't. Then it smiled. I didn't. Then it whispered, "Let me in." I swear I dropped the phone. I didn't even want to touch it. I turned off the lights, unplugged everything, shut myself in my room. I stayed there till morning, didn't sleep, didn't move. The next day, I did something stupid. I tried to record it. I set up another phone to film my screen. I wanted proof, something I could show people so they believe me, that this app was real, that Rahul hadn't gone crazy. But when I watched the recording, it showed nothing. No Miram app, no reflection, just a blank phone screen. Like it only appeared for me. That's when I realized, this thing isn't just some ghost in a phone. It's smarter than that. It doesn't want to be caught. It doesn't want attention. It wants people. Alone. At night. Looking into their screens. Watching their own face long enough to forget which side of the glass they're on. I've tried everything, new phone, factory reset, even threw one phone into a river. But somehow, it always comes back. And the reflection? It's more confident now. It moves more freely. Sometimes I catch it staring at me before the screen lights up. Like it knows I'm about to pick it up. And yesterday, it waved at me, just like it did to Rahul. So listen to me very, very carefully. If you ever see an app called Miram, don't open it. Don't download it. Don't even look at it. Because once you do, it sees you. And once it sees you, it doesn't stop.